All right. So now we can go back into this. All right. So, okay. Good morning, everybody. It is that time again, Friday, mindset call, mindset time. And it is this 5th of June. And I just think I'll wind this up. Okay. So obviously, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in my destiny. I will persevere until I succeed. Augmandino. However, the slaughterhouse of failure could be in my destiny if I quit. It's the only way you'll fail in life, if you quit what you're doing. So it's important to always persevere and keep going. So today, what I wanted to do was Scott Bennett posted something this week, and I'm going to show it here. Here it is. Bear with me, and I'm going to show it, share screen. Is this it? No. All right, so hold on. Make this bigger here. And we'll go to share screen. And I'm going to go to what Scott posted this week, which I think is this. I think, can't really see very well with this, but anyway, I think it's this one. No. What can you see there, please?
Yes.
Can you see the Scott Bennett thing?
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Because I've got three things going on at once here.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I started a new project.
What's that?
It says that I started a new project.
No, no, wrong one.
Oh,
Wrong one, sorry. Oh, geez. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me close that. Oh, that's how. Let me put this up here. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to get it right here. So, share screen. And share screen. Here we go. And I think it's this one. Is that it? Does it say shifting quadrants?
Yes.
All right. So Scott published this week, and it says shifting quadrants in business is not just about strategy, it's about emotional and spiritual growth too. I want to dissect this because then I've got this is what it you see, when we read stuff, we've got to really look into it, study it, understand it, and put it into effect. It's no use us just looking at stuff and saying, wow, that's interesting, and then just leave it at that. So he said here, shifting quadrants in business is not just about strategy, it's about emotional and spiritual growth too. I can implement this by putting a stronger emphasis on mindset development for those I'm helping. I will do that by integrating mindset focused resources and making personal growth a key part of how we guide people through that journey. So there's a lot of stuff in here. It's just 5, 10 lines, but it's really interesting and it's important. So what I wanted to do is, before I even do that, I want to just go for a quick moment to a video, which has got something to do with entrepreneurial business. So bear with me a sec. I'm going to go stop here, and I'm going to go into share here again, share screen. And I'm going to go into, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear this? Hold on.
No.
Cannot hear it.
Yeah. Oh,
Hold on. I can't hear that either. Hold on. Oh dear.
Lawrence, stop sharing and then go to share it again, but click on the optimize volume button to the right side before you share.
Thank you. Hold on. Stop share. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here. Oh, damn it. Okay, stop share. Yeah, stop share and then go to where?
Yeah, go to share your screen again, but before you click before you click what you're going to share on the right side, there's a checkbox for optimize volume
All
in
right.
videos. You see it?
I do not. On,
Click click the share button,
yeah.
and then on the right side of that screen, you should see optimize volume.
Okay, optimize video shoot. Perfect. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's get this now. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Rich, I'm just doing something like that. How did you get rich? Sold my business for more money than I could ever dream of. How much money are you worth today? 400 million. Are you serious? I'm going all over London interviewing the richest people to help the younger generation. Can I get a minute with you for the channel real quick? Yeah, of course. Have you ever been broke before? I was homeless at 15 years old. You were homeless? I had nothing. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I needed to be an entrepreneur. What was your turning point to financial freedom?
Okay, I needed to be an entrepreneur. There's where you've got it's when we say we cut the bridges, we burn the bridges, and we really go all in. This guy's all in. He was homeless. He didn't want to be an entrepreneur. He had to be an entrepreneur. That's the difference between I want to do this or I'm really going all in.
The only reason I'm an entrepreneur today is because I couldn't get a job. Thank fuck. There's a saying that the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. What keeps people broke in today's world? The easy life. I think when people get a salary, they get trapped on a drug. The golden handcuffs, they call it. Worse than that, it's a middle class trap. Once they start getting a salary, they start building up debt. And when you have debt, you have to service that debt. So if you've got a mortgage, you're working for the bank. I just want to work for myself. So I don't give a shit about any of those things. I want to own my time. You know, they don't teach us in school, right? They don't teach us in school, in my opinion, for a reason. Why is that? If you understood how money works, why would anyone sell time? It's limited. You only have a certain amount of time in a day. Why would you sell time as an outcome? So the people teaching you don't even understand how money works. What is one lesson about business right here that is not taught in school? The school system will tell you to sit down to do an exam on your own. If you get a D in something, you're an idiot. Someone gets an A, they're smart. That's not how the real world works. All my billionaire friends have been successful because they built teams. They're not doing an exam on their own. They're doing an exam with 100 other people. You're not meant to do it on your own. How old are you today? How old am I today? I'm 51. Are you happy today? Happy is a bit fleeting. I have something better than happiness. I have a purpose. I want to fix the education system, the system that let me down at 15 years old. We're not giving people the knowledge to realize they can take control of their own fucking life. And I will not stop until that happens. You've got amazing advice, my friend.
Okay. He uses fruity language, as I call it. It's a bit like that. And it's actually I like it because it's emphatic. So let's get back to Scott's conversation here. And I'll put that up here again, share screen, so that you can actually see it. And it's this one here. So let's just get into this a minute because that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. And this is what I have to comment about that. We talk about coming out of our comfort zone. Well, you know, the comfort zone is when we just that's the word, comfort. But have you ever thought about when your mind and your what looks good on paper but doesn't feel emotionally good? It doesn't feel right, but it's obviously okay on paper. So here's where we have to invite the mind to a conversation with the heart to find the balance. This is where we start to look at how we can get the mindset right. So, people think that business success comes from better strategies, better products, better opportunities. Well, all those are things that matter. But the biggest challenge is the transformation required within ourselves. That's where the big starts, things happen. The shift has to be internal before it's external. Every business transition requires a personal transition. Every opportunity demands new thinking. Right now, we've gone from the S3 to the Prism. We've gone from B2B to B2C. We've got to rethink a little bit, restructure our minds. And growth begins where comfort ends. That's when we start growing. The biggest obstacle is not always the market. It's often our own beliefs. It's how we believe. That's where the obstacles come. So there are four types of growth that we are going through. One is the financial growth. We've got to learn new skills. It's a new way of earning money, creating new income streams, building assets. The second part is mental growth, learning continually. We've got to continuously expand our minds, learn, become adaptable, think differently. Third one is emotional growth, handling rejections. We've never had to handle rejections. Managing uncertainty. Managing uncertainty. These are big words. Building resilience. These are part of our growth. Spiritual growth, understanding purpose, serving others, aligning actions with values. So, getting back to Scott, those few lines are the embodiment of all of what I'm talking about now. Personal growth, the mindset, the shift in mindset, internal shift. Four growth areas. I'd like to open it up. Anybody?
Lawrence, the different books that we read, the different experiences we experience when we talk to people, each one of those steps is a growth step. And if we don't read, we're not growing.
No, I can qualify that. If we don't read, we won't know how to put into effect what we've read, because we've got to take action. You see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Exactly this, Ron. Scott published those sayings yesterday, and we read them, but we've got to actually delve into it and put them into effect. Action. What are those? What are those? What does it mean here? What does he say? Not just strategy, it's about emotion and spiritual growth. I can implement this by stronger emphasis on mindset development for those I'm helping. I will do that by integrating mindset-focused resources and making personal growth a key part of how we guide people through that journey. Now we're helping everybody else. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
No, I accidentally raised my hand. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I can comment on something though. When we're alone, we're both talking to ourselves and we're listening to ourselves. When there's no one else around, that's all there is, right? You're not reading, you're not listening to TV, watching TV or anything like that. And the messages that we're sending to ourselves and what we're hearing comes from that reading and that research. And the one guy in Europe said it pretty well. The system's set up against us, it indoctrinates us to, go to work and go to school and get a job afterwards and rent your time for money. And it's difficult to overcome that. That's why reading and educating ourselves outside of that indoctrination is so important.
Thank you. Absolutely.
One of the books that I'm benefiting from is reading Atomic Habits.
Mhm.
And so what I set a goal this week was one of the things in my reading. I said, I'm going to uh, strive for 3 new customers a day. And so yesterday I had a meeting with one of my BNI colleagues. We were doing a one-to-one. She put in 100 SV order. And then I stopped off. I was introduced by a customer of mine. She gave me 3 of her friends. I sat with one of her friends yesterday, and she again bought over $100 in product. Women that are older, and well, the second one was older woman, retired, but obviously very wealthy and very interested in her health. And we sat down for 2 hours and talked about, lifestyle and things we've done and what we could do to help her with her particular situation. And it was wonderful. It was such a great afternoon.
Well, can I say, first of all, The Atomic Habits is actually one of the books that we've been reading, and all of these things we're talking about part of them come from there as well. But here's something I want to mention. When you talk about older women or older anybody, you know, a purpose.
Hmm.
This guy was talking about a purpose. Why do I do this? I do this because I need the passion to get up in the morning and feel that I'm still useful. That older woman who's succeeded in her life, and she's very wealthy, as you mentioned, what's her purpose? What drives her? What motivates her? What keeps her young? We're kept young by the motivation, by the enthusiasm, by a feeling of being of being able to bring something to society by giving back, by doing something. I'm just mentioning that. So when you have a conversation, think about always put yourself in the shoes of the other person. That lady's very wealthy. Okay, good. And she's elderly. Okay, I've no idea what elderly is, but okay. Ask her what's her purpose. Maybe she could join you in this venture which we have now to help other people. Just thinking aloud.
Hmm.
Hey, Lawrence,
Yes, sir.
here, I'll think out loud too.
Oh,
Um, so, you had sent me a couple of these billionaire interviews. One was a British guy who was fantastic. And in the end, for him, it was really, you've got to have purpose in life. And when I heard Carol had that 2 hour conversation, that the person I was thinking about was Carol, because if that was a job, she would have never had the time to spend 2 hours, but she was on purpose. And
uh-huh.
so she spent the time needed. Also, she knows about long term relationships. All you need are 6 frontline long term relationships, and you got a business. And so but I don't think she was thinking about that. I think she was focused in on that woman's needs and how she could help that woman. That is extremely purposeful. And I like thinking about Carol's side of that equation as much as that lady that was benefiting from it.
100%. Thank you, Jim. Very valid. Very, very valid. Nobody? Guys, this is supposed to be dialogue. It's not just a monologue. I'm not Johnny Carson.
Who?
Who's that?
Don't you fake that, Mike.
Wow.
Well, anyway, the point about all this is that when we read something, pick it to pieces, analyze it, and act on it. That's the moral of what I'm trying to do today is to say actions. You know, we've all become knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. but that has to be transformed into action.
Procrastination is not profitable.
Amen.
Absolutely not. So anyway, that's why I look for these little snippets of things that may be in that may influence us in thinking and acting.
You know, there was another thing Carol said that I thought was good, and it relates to this little story we've all heard 100 times. And that was, she said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell to three different people a day. She didn't say I'm going to go meet three people a day. And it's about the three birds on the fence, and one decides to fly away. How many birds are left? Three. He didn't take action, you know? And the fact of the matter is, you can't help people the way we want to help them unless you sell them something that can bring benefit to their health. And the conversation will have many elements to it. Sure, you can help them perhaps on their thought processes, give them some positivity and all of that. But I love the way that she said, I'm going to go sell to three people a day.
Love it. You're right. There you go. You see, if we listen carefully, we can dissect and reach bigger conclusions. It's not just over there. We got to listen to it and put it in. Thank you. Very, very good. I 100% love that.
You know, I had a situation where one of my B&I people, we had what they call a one-to-one, and she's, I don't know, probably in her 30s, and she has problems with acne, and she brought the subject up. Otherwise, I probably would not have gone further. But I talked to her a little bit about our Loomis ball, and as I used Carol as a example, and because Carol knows her also, and I said, Carol uses it, twice a day for 2 minutes, and it's made a huge difference in her skin. And uh, I was trying to step lightly, especially when talking to a woman, because I have a bad habit of, I'm an equal opportunity offender. I'll offend anybody, ask anybody, they'll tell you that. Um, and I was trying not to, offend the lady, but she turned around and she bought it. She went home and looked at the website, and yesterday we had a meeting, and she brought this up and said, "This is the best thing I've ever had." And I mean, she was just bouncing off the wall about it. And then he talked about a bunch of other things that were in on the website, and she says, I'm telling my friends about this, blah 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 blah. So yeah, talking to people, taking a chance, it makes a big difference.
Well, you did make a big difference to his
Yeah.
kid. Well
Time
done.
for the collagen. Time for the collagen, Ron.
Yeah.
Kelly, yes, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hey, good call. I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a story. So, what you notice about people who are very wealthy or entrepreneurial that are successful. So, I'll give you a story. My brother, who used to run martial arts studios and made millions of dollars doing it, what he would do is he would go to conferences. So he went to a conference one time in Las Vegas, spent money to get there, booked a suite. It was all there. Shows up to the conference. One of the guys he wanted to speak was speaking early. He sat through an hour presentation, right? Got up and then said, and it was for a weekend. He said, "I'm done." Got it, and left to go home. He found one nugget. His whole thing is, I need one nugget, one. And everybody looks for multiple things, and we have to learn and figure that out. But his whole thing was, I found one nugget, I got home, and I implemented it. I acted on it. And he goes, that one nugget made me well over $10 million.
Well,
So sometimes we strive to look at so many things of what we can be good at and what we can do, but time is our enemy. Time is now a very competitive element in what we are doing competitively right now. We go into offices And now people are hearing, oh, yeah, someone stopped in. So now you're getting competition on a street level. All you need is one idea, one action, but implement it, act on it. We can go through all these calls every week and every time, and they're very beneficial because you're looking for that one nugget that resonates with you. But just as you mentioned a few seconds ago, is you got 3 cats on a fence, 2 decide to jump off. How many do you have? 3, because no one's acting. So that's the key thing. The key takeaway is once you find something and resonates with you, act on it. Like Carol acted. Well, Carol, today's a new day, right? And just that action sets you in a different trajectory. That changed everything. You didn't know it, but that just changed your whole business moving forward. So these calls and these actions and these learning skills are very, very important. But the number one thing that, that it resonates with me is like, we got to put it into action. And then what I do know is I'm starting to run into things where people are uneducated on the whole process of the prism, the viability of it, the validity of it, and what it entails, and they're just spewing off. So you're going to run into contacts that will say, when you talk to them, oh no, that's not for me, because they had someone who went before you, was very let's call him a dingbat, and just rambled and had no sense and just thought it was kind of a toy. And that's what we're going to be. That's what's going to start to happen. We're going to go into a rejection period because people are going to say, oh, that's not for me. In my profession, we used to call it, you pissed all over it, because a rep, I'll give you an example, a rep would go into, I used to deal in home furnishings, would go into a large account, talk to the buyer about, the particular product, uneducated, had no answers, couldn't give an answer back, no validity of it. And then the line would die. Somebody else would pick it up, talk to that same buyer, and they'd say, I've already seen it. I don't like it. It's not for me. And they didn't hear anything that has any weight. So understand, that's going to start happening. So be schooled, be educated, be skilled enough to answer those questions. But the number one thing is take action to get to that point. So I think I rambled enough. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
No,
Great.
that was so good because you're really opening our eyes to implementing damage control. It's really damage control. And with the S3, there's only 2,000 out there. So it's not like we were running over all these people, stepping over each other, telling them about it. We are going to run into that with the Prism.
Yeah.
I learned a new word the other day. A lot of you have heard deja vu, right? And the feeling that we've done something, and we've all heard the expression. I feel comfortable saying this after the colorful language used before. Same SHI, same stuff, different day, right? And if we don't change, we don't move forward. Carol decided she's going to do this and not do the same stuff, every day or whatever. Well, the new word is deja vu, doing the same stuff every day, right? So get out of that mold. What you're doing isn't working. That's the definition of insanity. We got to change something. We got to grow a little bit. So I think that's a big takeaway for me from this call.
Yeah.
Good job, Michael. Thank you. And
Deja vu. We don't want that.
we're going to patent that. Good job, Carol. Anybody else got anything? No? All right. Well, look at Scott's takeaway, what he published yesterday. I hope some of this was useful, and have a good weekend. Blessings to everybody. Thanks for being on the call. And it's the beginning of June, so we still got the whole month to do something worthwhile. Act as if it's the last day of the month every day, when we've got to really get our quotas, our targets, meet our targets. The month, try and meet them on the first day and work hard from the first day so they're not scrambling on the last week. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
Listen,
Lawrence.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lawrence.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Lawrence.
everybody.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
everybody's input.
Thank
Thank
you, Lawrence. Everybody stay calm.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Lawrence.
thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence.